I haven't podcasted in a very long time. I don't think I've posted anything since November, and so much has happened since then. For example, I went to Mexico for a month. I went through a huge kind of turmoil in my personal life, but even though it was kind of like took a hit emotionally, everything around that I think went really well, and I learned a lot of lessons that I didn't think that I had yet to learn. And then I also became really clear on what my purpose is for the podcast and social media. I just got inspired to come to the microphone today because I haven't solo segmented in so long, and I have so much to say, and I know that the solo segments is where you guys really get to know me, because the YouTube videos are more teaching you something based on the subject, but the solo segments is where I just kind of talk and you can just let it play. Actually, today is my birthday, and something that I've been feeling today very prominently, it's been really hard for me to relate to people. And I think that after I was like, okay, why do you feel like you don't really relate to people? And I just feel like for such a long time, well, I started this social media journey in like 2014 whenever I started my first t-shirt brand. And I basically did social media marketing for myself, and I didn't really think of it as a personal brand. I almost didn't post pictures of myself on there until I started branching off and really studying what social media marketing is. A YouTuber that I watched a lot was Hey Dominic on YouTube, and I bought his social media marketing course, or Instagram marketing course specifically. I didn't finish it. I think I got through the first two episode or lessons, or 3 lessons that talked about niching down. And after it started talking about niching down, I was like, I can't niche down. That's not me. I can't pick one thing to talk about, because I had my t-shirts going on and screen printing, but then I also sang. I've been singing forever. I was in a band, and then I started to do things on my own, and I started recording on my own, and then I stopped because life got in the way. I basically didn't really have as much creative freedom because I had to make money on the side, because I had to support myself. I never had any support from anybody. So everything was kind of interrupted. All of my creative endeavors were interrupted. I also danced on a hip-hop crew, and I I still have dreams of being a dancer or being a singer. But of course, making money and survival essentially was the first priority. And so after I was like, okay, social media is going to be the thing that's going to make me money, because that's what made me money with my t-shirt brand. And that's what made me money after I first quit my job and decided to be self-employed. I was self-employed before that too, but it wasn't through social media. I sold things on eBay and Mercari, so it was in the e-commerce field, and that was a lot of ups and downs too. But hold on, I need to stay on track. How do people that podcast stay on track? I guess they plan their shit out, and I usually do have a script for myself, but today I just felt a huge impulse to record, so I just decided to just record and see what comes out, because I really want to talk about this. It's just been on my head all day, in my head all day, and I couldn't ignore it. So we're talking about niching down. Okay, yeah, so I have so many things that I do, and on my Instagram profile, I just post all of it, like dancing, singing, marketing, t-shirts, screen printing. I used to work really heavily in the t-shirt industry. I worked for a print-on-demand shop, so I would post their content. I made content for them, and every company that I worked for kind of felt like they wanted to use my story to market their brand, because my story is kind of, I don't know, it's like I taught myself how to screen print in my mom's garage, and then and then I just kind of made shit happen for myself. And I didn't realize I was making content around this kind of thing, like marketing and branding and things like that. But it was like, why didn't I just do that for myself? And for some reason, I convinced myself that because these were bigger companies, that it would benefit both parties if I use that as my vehicle for my growth as a personal brand. And it seemed like a good idea then, because obviously, like, they have all the marketing money, they have all the resources if they're already an established company. And so I was like, okay, I can't do this on my own. I need this company to attach my name to so they can worry about the marketing, or they can worry about the paid promotions and things like that. But honestly, every single company that I've worked with that wants me to attach my name to them just ends up letting me down, or has let me down, every single one. And I think after that, you just realize you're the only person that can carry you. And I'm saying that not in a sense of like, oh, my friends and family aren't there for me, but in a sense that I thought that the way to go was attaching my name to these big companies because they had the resources. Not only did they have the resources, but I was kind of dumb to think that they would use them on me, because not one video that I made for these companies were promoted. Not one video was paid to push. I didn't receive any sort of production budget. I had to film, lights, graphic design, social media build, audience build, all by myself. And so for me to look back on that and think, why did I think that I couldn't just put that time into growing my own Instagram? Also, they weren't paying me for this work like directly. I was on a salary with most of these companies. And yeah, I was on a salary with most of these companies, and I didn't also realize, and so I thought I was doing great because I wasn't trading hours for money. But it was kind of worse because I was putting in a lot more hours for a set pay. So I feel like I went all these years with companies taking advantage of just what I knew about social media. I didn't realize how much of an advantage knowing social media marketing was back then. And now I am pretty much just using all of that to focus on growing my own personal brand. And then I make money from ads, Google AdSense, YouTube ads, podcast ads, and affiliate marketing. Yeah, and I really only like social, like, because I had so many ups and downs with social media marketing with other companies that just kind of, it didn't work out. Now I'm just completely like so tired of social media marketing for other people. Yeah, and now I'm just kind of doing it for myself and giving advice to other people that are doing it for themselves too. But I don't think I'll ever do it as a service for a company or for someone, because I just don't enjoy it. And I think it's not easy, but it's simple for anyone to learn and pick up and then apply to their own niche or whatever they're doing. Yes, invest time in yourself. Invest what you know in yourself. Invest time in learning. I think learning is the biggest gap between me and everyone else. Before you invest money, though, invest time into learning instead of paying for a course. Oh my God, I was about to buy a course and it was $2,000. I was about to buy a course in January and it was $2,000. Why? Because understanding the value of investing money in myself, and I've bought so many courses, and I haven't been exactly disappointed by some courses, but for example, after I buy a course, I'm like, okay, this information is probably already out there. This course was on YouTube, and I was going to buy a course on YouTube, but then I was like, I already know what to do. I literally have a process for myself, and after watching a bunch of YouTubers on the YouTube algorithm, SEO, honestly, learning SEO on any platform is the only thing that you need to know for marketing. And I have done paid promotion before, but it's just not the same. If you know SEO, then there's not really any need because you'll get the organic traffic. Stop using your talents for major companies. Use your talents on yourself. Richard started his YouTube channel this year. He's a graphic designer. He's been graphic designing for years. He's literally an expert graphic designer. And he's just started his YouTube channel, and his YouTube cover graphics are completely incredible. And I bet you're realizing, like, why didn't I do this sooner? Because you're actually passionate about Fallout and video games, and you're great at graphic designing, so why not do something like that for yourself? Me and Richard learned so many lessons, especially on working with people last year and just trusting people that didn't have any sort of moral compass on working with people. I don't know. I'm not going to go into that today, but I was thinking about doing story times on my YouTube, and one of the story times was going to be how I got scammed by my business partner, or how I lost $13,000 in e-commerce or something like that. Obviously not naming any names, but I feel like it's a very important part of what I talk about on the internet, because I feel like my niche is kind of like multiple streams of income, making money online, being self-sufficient. And so this was a very vital, like, important part. That part, like, for me last year when I lost so much money in e-commerce and I was banned from eBay, like, lost my business partner, he ended up betraying us. And I feel like that I was honestly, like, nobody knew I was going through this because my niche is about making money online. And I was like, holy shit, I'm literally so broke right now because I got scammed by this person. And now I'm coming on social media and being like, this is like how to make money online. So I had to really take that and be like, okay, if you are telling people how to make money online, then you need to make this money online. So that was, I think, the biggest confirmation for me that I'm doing the right thing, because I went from being like negative thousands of dollars in my bank account, having to pay my rent with my credit cards, being scammed by a business partner after all that. And I did all of that in around like 5 months. I completely turned my situation around again, and I was able to save up my lateral again. I was able to not live paycheck to paycheck anymore. I was able to still make money from social media and the internet, and from different multiple things that kept coming up just because of my work ethic and my drive. And I just was open to learning new things and ways to monetize the things that I liked doing. And so that's what I'm making YouTube videos on now, is for example, my 4 streams of income while I was in high school, or the one that I just released was the 7, I think, streams of income when I first quit my job. Another one that I'm coming out with is my streams of income during quarantine, because that changed a little bit. And then my streams of income when, like, solely online, because some of them aren't solely online. And then my streams of income solely on social media. And then my streams of income currently. So they're all, like, I feel like I've tried everything almost. And so I'm ready to share all of that with you guys, because I want other people to be able to say that they control their everyday life, because I think it's just so fucked to live the life waiting for the weekend or living paycheck to paycheck. And even though it's not like 5 steps to financial freedom, it's not, but it's the mindset shift that you need to know that what you need to pull back so that you can do the rubber band effect and shoot forward. Sharing information is because it's so accessible to everyone, but also I think everything's so scattered out there too. And then sometimes you're like, oh, is this a scam? Is this real? Is this not? And then if you don't know basic branding and marketing, because I don't think people just wake up one day if they're like need money and they're like, oh, let me learn marketing, but it's a part of every single thing that is like needed, basic branding and marketing. And so hopefully, like, everything that I talk about will plant a seed in people's heads to be like, okay, maybe I like this in my interest, maybe I could try that, or and it's not a linear line. I was talking about this earlier today with Destiny, and I was telling her, like, dude, I have imposter syndrome right now because I'm going on this app and I'm talking about financial literacy. I'm talking about multiple streams of income, but I was literally so broke last year. And she was like, nothing is linear. Like, everything has its ups and downs. It's honestly like this journey has been a roller coaster for me. Like, I've been self-employed and making money for myself since before I was of legal age to do so. Like, I was a vendor at Vans Warped Tour, and I wasn't of age, so I had to use my friend's name to sign up for the booth so that I could sell merch. And I was even vendoring at places where I wasn't allowed to go in. Like, I had X's on my hands vendoring at these venues to sell t-shirts, having to pick myself up from like constant holes just because life didn't really provide me with like the luxury of having a lot of basic necessities. And so I had to really dig myself out multiple times. But every time that I come out of a big dip in my life, it just gets better and better. Like, I think in January last year too, 2019, I was doing really well. I was self-employed, making money from Rover and affiliate marketing. And then I was like, I'm going to get an apartment in May by myself. And it's going to be a really nice apartment. It's going to be a luxury apartment. It's going to be so beautiful. And I lived with my mom. So I moved out when I was 18, but I always, like, between leases came back to my mom's house for like a month or two and slept in her dining room. And so this was a time where I was in my mom's dining room sleeping, and I was like, okay, in May, like, that's enough time for me to get my money back up and be able to move out again. And then I went really, really heavy on the influencing. And so I made money from affiliate marketing with Rover and Smile Direct Club. I'm sure if you've been following me a while, then you would know that I would promote my retainers link all the time, and that paid pretty well. They give me $100 every time someone would sign up. So with that, I was able to get my own apartment in May, just like I said that I would. And so that was just the craziest confirmation. That was like a hole that I got myself out of. Then later on, 2019, everything went really well. I started a podcast, everything. 2020, I hit a hole again. And so I feel like every year I hit a really, really low moment financially and emotionally, and then I go back up even higher. And so that's why I think I have imposter syndrome, because I feel like I don't have it figured out, but I also know what I tell myself is, I know that I've done this so many times, and I know what I'm doing even if I don't know what I'm doing. And I have so much information to share with you guys that probably have never hit that hole, but also have never hit that high. And I've had so many lows and so many highs that I want to share that with you that don't feel like you can hit a goal. And there's just so many things that I want to talk about. I basically just wanted to reintroduce myself on my podcast because I haven't posted an episode since last November, or a solo segment since way before that. But now that I have a set room, because I've been moving around so much and hopping around, and then I was house sitting for a little bit. Anyways, we're podcasting again. It feels great. I'm in a set space now. I just moved into this house like in mid-January, and I haven't really felt like I had somewhere like stable to live in just because of my situation, and I was between leases. But now I do, and it's really nice. But I'm gonna be moving again in May, so I'm gonna enjoy this while it lasts. Basically, this year I've realized that I really need to niche down. That's actually was my huge epiphany that I learned in January, or December, because I've been knowing to niche down since I started studying social media marketing in like 2014 or 15. But I was always like, I do way too many things. That's not me. I can't stick to one thing. But the trick is that how people blow up is they're very, very niche down for the beginning, and then until afterwards they spread out. So yeah, spinning too many plates at once. Exactly. That is just gonna confuse the algorithm, because they don't know which accounts to suggest you to. If you're having 5 different categories, for example, with me, I had dancing, singing, social media marketing, I had a t-shirt brand, screen printing. I tried to niche down into making easy graphic design tutorials or like t-shirt manufacturing tips. Whenever I was working at the t-shirt shops, after that I was like, okay, I know a lot about this. Like this was supposed to be my career at one point. So I can talk about like screen printing tips or how to screen print at home, or how to, for example, I did make a video called how to make a transparent PNG from your phone. And it didn't do that well because I don't think I did the SEO part really well. And I feel like if I would have stuck to that, it would have gone somewhere. But honestly, I'm not really passionate about t-shirts anymore. The only reason why I got into t-shirts was because I wanted to be a part of music festivals, because I wanted to just be a part of the music scene. I thought I would end up working at a music festival or like, I don't know, something like that. I really wanted to be part of the Warped Tour roadies when I was a kid. That was like my dream. But I've always wanted to sing too, or like go on tour. That was like, I don't know. I'm still going towards that. I just need to eat first. I was kind of a scene kid, more like emo though, like post-core kind of thing. And I still will sing and dance and go into the entertainment field eventually. I just really want to honestly build a really sustainable life for myself to where I don't have to worry about like paying bills, and I want to support my family and things like that. I've been wanting to do like karaoke or like open mic or something to get myself rid of the nerves, because I'm such a nervous singer. Like I don't sing in front of people if I don't have to, you know, like I guess a lot of singers are like, any chance they get they sing, but I can't. I've never been that person. The goal is honestly to build a sustainable life for myself, and then I can have creative freedom. And I'm teaching you guys how to do that too, because I think everyone has a dream, and so many dreams don't get achieved. There's so many lost dreams. So many lost dreams everywhere. Why don't people achieve their dreams? Because they don't educate themselves, or because they don't. It's not necessarily taking the leap, but I think of more of learning the skill that it is to multitask, or honestly just starting while you're doing whatever else you're doing. Because I don't know. I just don't want to I just don't want to be another person with a failed music career or a failed dance career. We're taught that success is when you meet the goal. Yeah, like I'll be happy when this happens, or I'll be happy when that happens. But really, we have such a big timeline, and it's not just gonna happen. So I think just starting is the biggest thing for people. Also, I think the fact that, and even I've said this myself wrongly, jumping off the deep end or like taking the leap, I don't really think it should be phrased that way, because it's more of a, where can I start and what can I learn? Not necessarily like, let me just start making music now, because even though you can, there's just so much more that goes to it to be a successful artist. You also have to like know business and networking and branding. Marketing is always for everything. So whenever it's time for me to create music, I'm going to be so ready, and I'm going to be so relaxed, because I'm going to have all of my, like, I'm just not going to worry about, you know, necessities or things like that. Okay, I think that's enough podcasting for today. I think I've gone on and rambled for a long time. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm so happy to be podcasting again, and I'm so happy to be focused on myself again. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just really enjoying time to myself here, creating content and studying and stuff like that. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for listening. Please share this on your story if you want to, if you got any sort of value from this. I hope to document my journey with social media. Instagram is at Desanti Cardin. It'll be in the show notes below. Follow, yeah, I just said that. What else? This is totally unscripted, so I don't have the list in front of me, but I hope that you guys come back and subscribe to my podcast. Give me a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts if you're listening on there, and then subscribe on everything else. Bye, everyone. Bye, guys.